Hello again, friends. What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at Helluva Boss Season 2. We haven't taken a look at Season 1 on the channel. I feel like that's too old to take a look at, and I watched it a while ago, so I don't really remember it. But we are taking a look at Season 2. There is currently 8 episodes in Season 2, and the same person that creates Helluva Boss, I've got a lot of people telling me that it's Helluva Boss, not Helluva Boss. Whatever you want to call it, it's still the same thing. We're still talking about the same project, but they have currently just posted the first 4 episodes of Has Been Hotel on Amazon Prime. Not all the episodes are out. There is currently 8 episodes for Has Been Hotel, so the review for that is going to be a little bit delayed. I am sorry. I didn't know that it wasn't all going to be released at the same time. So instead, and to make up for it, we are taking a look at Helluva Boss, which has 8 episodes also, and is currently on the YouTube channel, and you can check them out here. So the story of this season is a lot of the past. We're taking a look at young Blitzo, young Stolas, young Jester, I forgot his name, and we're just taking a look at everything that they did in the past and how that it affects them now so that they can go into healing into Season 3. I feel like they left it off at a good place here, where each character has sort of seen what they've done in the past, and now that they're heading into making up for it and making a better choice. So episode 1 is Baby Stolas and what he has to do as a child. Episode 2 is Baby Stolas' daughter and him sort of not being a good father towards her, focusing too much on Blitzo. Episode 3 is Stolas getting kidnapped and actually ended up in the hospital, which causes Blitzo to worry and stress about him and actually send him flowers and stuff, which sort of continues with Blitzo doesn't actually believe that Stolas loves him, and they have this will they won't they relationship. The next one is Moxie being told to handle a mission. To handle a mission, go on, handle it, and do his best. He fucks up, Millie does a better job, and he's very embarrassed and anxious about it. He wants to do a good job. He wants to prove himself, and in wanting to do all of this, he ends up overcomplicating it and stressing himself out and actually failing in the mission. Then the next couple of episodes are about Blitzo and the Jester, and that is the Jester being kidnapped and Blitzo also being kidnapped and helping him out, saving him and escaping, and actually rekindling that relationship that they once had, and figuring out why it was ruined, and then continuing that into the next episode, where we have the Jester wanting to be this face of, the face of comedy in hell, and the person that is running this competition is exploiting him, and his lover and Blitzo don't agree with it, so they try and talk him out of it. And by the end of the episode, he does actually get over it. He realizes he doesn't need his approval, he doesn't need any of this, and he's okay on his own. I know that was just a quick run through. Again, the episodes are only 20-30 minutes long, so it isn't too complicated of stories, and there's a lot of swearing and a lot of sexual references that I don't really want to get into, but it is still a good story, and I do want you to go check it out on the YouTube channel, and I don't want to spoil it all for you, so I'm not going to go too deep diving into it. However, I've heard a lot of complaints about this series and a lot of complaints about this creator. A lot of people are saying that she leans too heavily into using sexual references and swear words for comedy. Not going to lie, that comedy actually works on me. That comedy is actually funny to me. I do like just a swear word for comedic effect. I think it is a very basic form of comedy, I will give it that. It is very base level comedy and does appeal to more young adults, like older teenagers, that sort of demographic, like 18 to 25. Gonna roughly put it as ballpark, maybe 16 to 25-ish. And I do think it is a decent comedy style. Very basic, very like bare bones comedy, nothing too sort of complex, but it still does get a laugh out of me, still does get a giggle out of me. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy that comedy. It is quite funny. I like the sort of dildos that get blurred and the sort of dicks that sort of surprise out of the walls. It is just quite entertaining and amusing. We also have a lot of people complaining about all the comedy, but I don't see that. If you don't enjoy the comedy, you don't have to watch it, if that makes sense. You don't have to watch it and then complain about it. However, criticism is there. You can't please everyone. If that's not your comedy style, that's fine. There are other people that do find that funny, and those people are me. I do find it funny. And I have been a fan of Has Been Hotel and Helluva Boss since it first came out. I saw it on my recommended, I watched it, and I thought it was great. And I've been keeping up with it ever since. We get a new episode every 2-3 months, so it is quite a very long time between episodes, with not a lot of content to keep you really well interested, well fed, well sort of to remember the story or keep you involved or invested in the series. And I feel like that can be a little bit of a struggle, especially with independent animated artists. I feel like a lot of other sort of indie projects like this struggle as well, like that Cat one that we looked at the other time, or the Murder Drones and Amazing Digital Circus. All of those like that feel like it's too long of a gap between every episode for you to stay invested and stay sort of intrigued. I know they're indie projects, and I know everyone is willing to wait for them because of how good they are. But again, I feel like any longer than 2 months and you will lose interest and you will lose traction and you will sort of lose the attention of this ever sort of goldfish memory TikTok era that we live in. Because of TikTok, everyone's attention span has reduced to 15 seconds and then it resets. So you want to look at something new. And the Mr. Beastification of YouTube has sort of made videos have to be scheduled in that way as well. So having to wait 2 months, people who aren't dedicated to the series probably aren't going to stick around, probably aren't going to watch it, probably aren't going to see it or, be waiting too long for it, which I think sucks. Again, because there's nothing really the animators can do about it unless they pay people. But again, it is still a lot of money to pay people for an episode. It's still a lot of money, and they might not have that money. The art style is incredible, though. I love the colours and how colours actually matter in this series, where there's a lot of greens, where there's a lot of evil characters, and a lot of reds because it is hell. But the reds seem to be a lot more a nicer tone and a nicer sort of area. And when we start to go to more greens and yellows, that's when it becomes a lot more dangerous. We also have Earth and like normal people living, not the hellscape, like actual Earth, looking very bright and colourful to make a very distinct contrast of the swapping of places, which I think is really cool and quite interesting as well. The colours actually matter, and they cause a lot of they cause for a lot of this series is ups and positives. I like how the colours are very important and sort of very interesting as well. The colour schemes always sort of matter a lot. The characters are interesting as well. I like how that it's taken a little bit of a deeper dive into their past, taking a look at Moxie's family tree, taking a look at Blitzo and the jester in the circus, and then taking a look at Stolas as well. And it does sort of start to sprout the story, give a little bit more lore to us, give us a little bit more teasers to why the characters work like they do, why they think like they do, why they act like they do. And it just makes the series feel a lot more complete. Taking a look back at the character's story is such a good idea. And I like how Season 2 sort of goes into that. Season 1 sort of fits the vibe of getting us into this world, setting the characters up, setting the story up. Season 2 seems to be taking a little bit look at the past and working the characters up a little bit more. And Season 3, I do believe, should, if it follows the trend, take us into the future of the characters and have them all healing, recollecting, and hopefully going to heaven. Because that's what we seem to be doing in this sort of whole universe. Has Been Hotel and Helluva Boss are connected, so having them go the same direction where you sort of redeem yourself and go to heaven, so it makes a lot of sense. And all this series is all about redemption, redeeming yourself, living how you want and being how you want, and not being defined by living in hell. So I do like that, and I feel like this is going the same direction. And I love how it takes a look at their past. Just going into their past is such a good idea that it works. It's a very simple idea, but it works for this sort of cartoon animated series and this world building. It just makes it so perfect. I like the character designs as well. Season 1 smashed it out of the park with them, and we're continuing to have new characters being introduced, all with very unique, standout character designs, which are very marketable, not gonna lie. Helluva Boss has got some U2s and a second wave of U2s on the way with Millie, Jester, and Moxie. But that's about it. I am going to give this series a whopping 9 out of 10. I do enjoy it. It's got a lot of emotions. It hasn't made me cry, but it's made me laugh, and it has made me worried for the characters and feel like distraught for them. And just sort of, I can see the emotion that they're trying to push. It just doesn't make me feel that. And I'm very excited to see where this series goes. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube video. See you all next one. Have a nice day and goodbye. Stay home and stay safe. If you do want a little bit more Tyler Price in your life, however, you can go check out the link in the description, which will take you to my link tree and will have everything else that I have to offer as a content creator, from my YouTube to my Twitter to my Instagram to my TikTok to my Twitch. However, if you want to stay here on YouTube, feel free to subscribe and click on another video, because that's how you tell the YouTube algorithm that you like my content, and it'll pop up another one for you. So that's all I really have to say, and I'm done now. Goodbye.